Just a trade recap. I took a loss today, which is entirely my fault. The crazy thing is the trade ended up working out, and it would have erased losses from last week, from like kind of like the end of the last month. At least the time I was trading between them. Um, so I'll get into it. A couple things. But first, let's get into the pre-market plan. So this is the framework here. We have 10 a.m. news. I'm bearish, targeting previous day low as my main draw, and possibly major sell side liquidity that was resting below it. It was more like a daily sell side. We have a 4-hour SIBI as my POI, and I was writing this at 8:57, right? So instead of writing what I see in the market, I've started to write scenarios. A trader that I look up to does this here, and I feel like it makes more sense because you give yourself more grace in order to see probabilities happen, and you can see what's been happening. You can kind of learn more from it versus like this is what's happening in the market. This is what's being respected. This is what's not what's being respected, because you already know that. You can already see that. So this was scenario one, right? That either 9:30 news or 10 a.m. news comes out and takes the high here, creates some type of S&T, and then gives me the delivery lower, right? Or scenario two was we sweep this out, we come into this fair value cap that's in discount, we continue trending lower, and then the news pushes us up. We displace above this high, and then we move back higher into a premium, a higher time frame premium, to seek some more bearish PD arrays, right? So let's get into the chart. Oh, this looks a little messy, but so coming into the day, right? You can see in your higher time frame PD array, this is the 4-hour, that we sweep out this high and then we displace lower, right? So at this point, right, you're looking for manipulation, right? So here we get the S&T that I was talking about in my pre-market plan, right? I can show you on NQ real quick. NQ takes out, this one. NQ takes out all these highs here. ES does not, right? You see. So I'm rocking with ES because it's the weaker pair, right? It's the one I expect to see sell side hit on. So I have a rule that if by, let's say, around like 9:40, 9:45, I'm not in a trade already and there's 10 o'clock news, I will wait for the news. Because one thing I've noticed is that the news has been manipulation, and then we see a move lower, or towards your draw. But it will stop you out and then move lower towards your draw. So we get this S&T. We're respecting this 5-minute, right? And I'm patient, man. Like, I really wanted to take this trade here. I wanted to enter off the change in the state here. But I did it because I know that, this is 9:54 that I want to take the trade. It's only 6 minutes. Yeah, it's only 6 minutes till news comes out. So I'm like, I'm going to just wait for news because either one or two things is going to happen, right? We're going to get manipulation, which we did. We're going to get manipulation and then go to my draw liquidity. Or we're going to expand to my draw liquidity, which that I'm fine with because I don't need to catch every expansion move. I don't need to be entering a position thinking I need to catch the expansion, right? That was my issue before, and I'm learning from that. So I wait for 10 o'clock news. We sweep out this high, right? And then we have another S&T. This S&T still holds, and we sweep out this high, right? At this point, I'm saying to myself, if we were to go low, if we were to go higher, right, we would have respected this here, right? This sweep here, right? We didn't. So at that point, I'm bearish, right? So I enter my position on this change in the state here. We run down lower, and then we run back up, right? And here, I exit my position. Literally on this fucking candle, I exit my position, right? My TP is this here, this sell side here, right? My TP is this sell side here. I exit my position here. We then go to my draw liquidity, right? This would have erased. This is, and the funniest thing is like this is perfect. When I look at people who trade this model, this is exactly what you're looking for. Higher time frame PD array, SMT. I've been trying to prioritize SMT more. Internal sweep, inverse fair value gap, change in the state. There's nothing else that this is an A plus setup, right? So, and my stop was here, right here, right above this candle here, right? So at this point, like, are you really doing damage control from here to here? Like, that's just a couple ticks, like I guess, but it's not really by much. The reason why I took off this position was because ES was pushing. I mean, NQ was pushing, and I didn't like the wick we had on the 15 minute. What I didn't realize was that, and I'll show you on M15. You see this wick here? I feel like we were respecting this gap. What I didn't realize was we had closed below it, and then we were just retesting this as an inverse to go lower, right? I could have stayed more patient, could have just trusted the model, but I didn't, right? So now that's something that has to get journaled. We have to talk about it. I didn't trust the model, and the model played out perfectly, beautifully. And it could have erased so much loss, right? This was a $400 move. Easily put me in profit, right? The thing that I'm happy about is that I know I have the ability to make that $400 because if I learn from this, right? If I learn from this trade, which I've been learning from my trades, the next time to make the $400 will come. But I'm not focused about the money. Fuck the money right now. The losses will be alleviated though. That's the good part that I'm learning from. As long as I follow my model and trust my system, right? The issue is I didn't trust my system, and that's why I took a loss today. But it's okay. This is something I have to work on, trusting my model. Yeah. And I will say one more thing. People who tell you just trade this one way and then you'll be profitable, don't worry about psychology, are lying. Because when you come into situations like this, right, where you trade your model, it's perfect, but you still second guess it, right? And you can say, I don't trust my strategy, I don't have confidence in my strategy, but also part of that comes from psychology, right? Here I'm thinking, I took the trade on ES even because I'm like, man, I gotta alleviate loss, like I gotta risk manage because the loss on ES would be better money wise than NQ. And I still end up paper handing. Like that's the type of shit that happens. But the focus is that you learn from shit like this, right? That's the goal. A lot of traders they really beat themselves up about shit, and they don't accept the fact that they're in infancy, right? And when I say in infancy, I don't mean like I showed you guys that, but in the pre-market, I already had the plan of what I want to do, and it played out perfectly, right? So it's not a price action infancy or like reading a chart infancy. It's more so of like actually watching these candlesticks form live and with your psychology feeling these new emotions. Like now that I'm looking at it in hindsight, you can obviously see we just came back to retest this inverse fair value gap and we respected the change in the state. We didn't close above this change in the state, these down close candles, right? I could say that now, but in hindsight, I was scared. So I cut the trade early, try to help losses. It's whatever. The good thing is that I follow my rules, right? Besides cutting this trade early, I follow my rules. I waited for 10 o'clock news, and that my model looks perfect. A lot of my trades are going to look just like this. Not every trade will look the same, but if my trades look like this for the rest of my life and my career as a trader, I am happy because I know that this will yield me a profit in the end, right? Few touch-ups that I got to work on like this, but I know that it will yield me a profit in the end. So I am very happy about this. The way this trade looks, I'm not happy with my management about it, but that's fine. We will work on it. It gets journaled. It gets worked on, right? And that's why you have to work on your psychology. But if I could leave you guys with anything, it's just work on your psychology and trust your model. And over time, you will make money, right? But don't prioritize the money. Focus on practicing good habits. Don't focus on the money. Fuck the money. Like you literally have to say fuck the money because that's what you have to do in order to become profitable. I have to say fuck the money because you will do things that aren't concurrent with you being a good trader in the market because you're trying to make money. Like, if I was trying to make money today, I would have taken this trade. And then I would have got stopped out. And then I would have been like, why can't I fucking follow my own rules, right? I'm happy I follow my rules. That makes me feel good because you can see that 10 o'clock news gave me what I was looking for, the manipulation to then go lower, right? If I had I not waited for that, if I took this trade again, right? Let's say I took this trade again. I enter two cons here, get stopped out. Then I take this again on one con. I'm scared even more than I already was. I exit my position. I watch it go against me. Now I go on tilt. And then I do some dumb shit tomorrow or the next day, and then I'm on tilt. Like, that's the small things that build up, and you have to be aware of it. But I'm talking too much. That's the trade from today. Took a loss. Not mad about it. We'll journal and learn from it.